Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about PTSD and the role of dream analysis and understanding the intersection between trauma and your dreams. And this was big to me because I did a lot of dream analysis when I was going through my healing process, and it's something I still do today. I studied Carl Jung, and I actually have most of his work, and I studied all of that and applied it, and there were some other books and things that I read, and it was a very useful tool. It gave me a lot of insight into what was going on and things like that. So for many people suffering from post-traumatic stress, the realm of dreams and sleep sort of becomes this battleground where one's unconscious mind grapples with this unresolved trauma that we have. So, dream analysis, which is a practice rooted in psychology and psychoanalysis, like the great Carl Jung, has emerged as a potentially valuable tool to really help us understand and address the challenges that we're facing with our trauma. So, post-traumatic stress obviously deeply impacts a person's sleep quality and their dream patterns. Trauma survivors often, as did I, experience nightmares that sort of vividly replay the traumatic event or generate some kind of distressing scenario related to your trauma in your mind. And these nightmares are actually classified as intrusive symptoms, and that's because the mind involuntarily sort of reintroduces the person to their traumatic experiences through their dreams. So dreams, and particularly those shaped by post-traumatic stress, have a tendency to evoke strong emotional responses. You know, they're not merely random occurrences, but they're more of a reflection of the psyche's ongoing attempt to process this trauma that you've been through. Again, it has to be processed. You can't just hold it in because it ends up, eventually it will come out. And when it does, it's going to be worse. It's kind of like, I describe it as like having a can of Coca-Cola and shaking it profusely until the top finally blows and everything comes out at once. And that's what happened. And that's what happened to me. Only I let it out in the form of a book. And that would be my first book, A Line in the Sand. So this the heightened intensity of the dreams suggests that your subconscious mind is obviously grappling with these feelings of fear, helplessness, and unresolved conflict that you have. And because your dreams about your PTSD or while you have PTSD are recurring, like you might often have the same dream over and over again, or you might have the same types of dreams over and over again, things like that. So they often perpetuate this cycle of distress that you're going through, and it keeps that trauma fresh and raw, kind of like you're back going through the event again in live time, but you're not. It's happening through your dreams while you're sleeping. So what is the role of dream analysis? So dream analysis really is a technique that's evolved over centuries. It draws from other disciplines such as psychoanalysis, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is when you talk to your medical health professional about your trauma until it no longer bothers you. Modern, and it also uses some modern neuroscience. Historically, dream interpretation actually sought to unlock like the symbolic meaning of dreams, believing that they held keys to understanding the unconscious mind, and they do really, because you dream a lot of symbols and things, or maybe certain people or something, and it's not that that particular person has any meaning on the dream. You might be seeing that person because it's a way for you to remember the dream when you wake up. so that you can interpret it, kind of like a Native American mythology or something like that. The Bible has the same thing, where there's a lot of like sort of wild images and things that happen, and it's not so much that needs to be interpreted. That's just a mechanism to get you to remember the rest of the dream so that you can interpret that part of it. Now, there are times where you see symbols and things that mean something. Like one of my dreams, I remember I saw, two glasses on a table. One was filled with a white liquid and one was filled with a black liquid, and that symbol meant something. I don't remember exactly how I interpreted it, but it was a long time ago. But it's things like that, or you see things in fours, or everybody that you're talking to might be on the left side of you and nothing on the right, and that sort of suggests things are out of balance. I mean, that was what it was for me. And you kind of have to interpret these things in light of your own situation and what's going on, because they're personal for you. So however I interpret a dream, you may not interpret it the same way, because our experiences are going to be different, and we're different people. So in the context of post-traumatic stress, dream analysis serves sort of like a gateway to understanding how your trauma manifests in your subconscious. So it helps uncover like hidden emotions, fears, and thoughts that are tied to this traumatic experience that you've had. And you do that by examining like we were just talking about, examining the content and the themes of your dreams. Even you can try and do it with a therapist to gain valuable insights, or so that your therapist can gain valuable insights into your psychological state, and then sort of tailor therapeutic interventions accordingly. What I did was that I would have dreams. I kept a notebook by my bed. I woke up, I wrote them down. The next day I would interpret them. And then when I went to go see my psychiatrist, that I would talk to her about the dream and what it meant to me. And this became a practice for us. And then she sort of was able to tailor my therapy towards what was going on, because it was almost like that was a window for her to look into my soul, or into my mental state, to see what was going on, so she knew how to address it and help me. And we did that for a couple years. And like I said, I still do it for myself today. If I have like some kind of dream, I'll wake up and I'm like, I need to remember that. I write it down, and the next day I interpret it, and I swear every time it gives me some sort of insight into my life and what's going on, and all that kind of stuff. So this is really a powerful tool. So there are some key components of dream analysis. One, recurring themes. And so you want to identify repeated patterns in your dreams, such as symbols, scenarios, emotions, and that sort of can help point to your unresolved trauma and things like that. Number two, emotions in dreams. So you want to explore the feelings experienced in dreams, and that helps connect you, or your dreams. It helps connect your dreams to your conscious emotions that you have and your triggers, right? Whatever may trigger a panic attack in you, or some sort of anxiety, and sometimes in a dream you'll have something that'll do that, and that you'll have the same sort of feelings, and you'll be like, oh, that's a trigger. This is, every time I'm around that thing, it makes me have a panic attack or something like that. And that happened for me. I was able to figure several things out that way. Third, symbolism. So remember that dreams often use metaphors and symbols, like I talked about a few minutes ago, and referenced the Bible and Native American mythologies and all those sorts of things. And they use these metaphors and symbols to express complex ideas. And through interpreting these symbols, you can reveal deeper psychological truths within yourself. But you kind of, if the dream just said it to you, like I'm having this conversation with you right now, saying these things to you, it wouldn't work, because you'd probably just blow it off anyways. But the point is you have to do the work. So it sort of presents this puzzle to you, I guess is a good way to say it, and then you have to put it together. You have to analyze it and figure it out. And by doing that work, it's through that process that you begin to heal and you begin to figure these things out. Four, nightmare management. So understanding the context of these recurring nightmares that you're having, it allows for strategies like imagery rehearsal therapy, IRT, to sort of reframe distressing dream narratives. So, as far as therapeutic approaches incorporating dream analysis, there's several therapeutic modalities that incorporate dream analysis as part of the post-traumatic stress treatment. And those approaches, their aim is really to alleviate distress caused by the traumatic dreams while addressing the root causes of the post-traumatic stress symptoms, which are also causing your dreams. So one of them is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBT. That's like -I. That's how they usually label it. If you see it, it'd be CBT-I. So this is widely used to treat sleep disturbances and post-traumatic stress. This therapy, like I said, you know what cognitive behavioral therapy is. When you're talking to your medical health professional, and to this stuff no longer bothers you, right? Well, this therapy explores the relationship between your thoughts, your behaviors, and your sleep patterns, because they all are connected. So it often incorporates this dream analysis to understand how these nightmares disrupt your sleep and exacerbate your post-traumatic stress symptoms. And what I just talked about, in nightmare management, about imagery rehearsal therapy, which you'll see labeled as IRT. So that is a specialized form of therapy that focuses on modifying the content of your nightmares. So you would work with a therapist to visualize and rewrite your horrible dream into a safer, more neutral scenario. And this process not only will reduce nightmare frequency, but it also empowers you to reclaim agency or reclaim power over your subconscious. Because, as we all know, with post-traumatic stress, you feel like you've totally lost control over everything, and you just got to suffer through it. So this is another aspect, amongst other things that we've talked about in other videos and podcasts I've done, is that it's a way for you to start clawing back at your having control over your life and your thoughts and your mind and that sort of thing. And the last one of these therapeutic approaches, which I mentioned in the beginning, was Jungian dream work. So again, Carl Gustav Jung, he did all this work on dream analysis and symbolism and all those things. Like I said, I bought most of his work, and I still have it. I still read him over and over again from time to time. And that helped me quite a bit to begin to interpret my dreams and learn from them and apply it to my life. So, drawing from this Jungian psychology, the dream work delves into the archetypes and symbols that are present in your dreams. And by exploring those elements, you'll be able to uncover sort of what we call universal themes of healing, resilience, and transformation inherent in your subconscious mind. So if you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend reading and studying Carl Jung. Okay, dream analysis in trauma recovery. Dream analysis not only provides insights into our unconscious mind, it also plays a very pivotal role in trauma recovery. So by addressing the traumatic dreams, you can gradually desensitize your emotional response to the trauma-related stimuli, the things that are causing you to freak out, so to speak. And this facilitates the integration of traumatic memories into sort of like a coherent narrative, like this story that you can understand, which reduces their intrusive impact on you. Because like I said, most of the things that I did, and I talked about it in a couple other recent videos, is that, especially with triggers and stuff, once I understood what was going on and why, I was able to deal with it. And it greatly reduced the traumatic impact that it had on me, because now I understood it. And that's just half the battle, really. That's why I put all this information out there. I know the videos and things aren't like, I'm not a cinematographer, the greatest, filmer or recorder or whatever you want to call it. And that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the information that's in it. And that's what's important. And that people, become inspired and learn from it, and hopefully be able to help themselves get through this. I mean, I did it, so there's no reason why the rest of you can't, if you do have post-traumatic stress. And, moreover, dream analysis also fosters a self-awareness and an emotional expression. A lot of trauma survivors really struggle to articulate their feelings, right? I know I had trouble. I just wouldn't even talk a lot of times, but I just couldn't articulate what I was feeling. But the dreams provide a nonverbal way to explore your more complex emotions. And the actual therapeutic journey, if you will, of understanding your dreams will encourage you to confront and process the trauma that you've been through in a safe, structured environment, which is important, whether you're doing it with yourself or you're doing this in conjunction with a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or another type of counselor, medical professional, mental health professional. It gives you that safe, structured environment to work within. There are, with just like anything else, there are some challenges and limitations. So while the dream analysis itself will offer you valuable insights, again, it's not a standalone solution for post-traumatic stress. Like I said, I did a bunch of different things in conjunction with each other, and that's how I was able to overcome it. And like I've said in many other videos of mine, you've got to try many different things, because some things will work, some things won't. And you discard the things that don't work and you stick with the ones that do. Your nightmares can be pretty, distressing. And, focusing too much on their analysis may inadvertently amplify the fear or, cause a re-traumatization. So it's something along the lines of, it's good to do, but you don't want to stay there. It's just a part of what you're doing, not all of it. And therapists really have to approach this dream analysis with sensitivity and sort of, ensure that the process remains constructive and empowering for the individual. And additionally, I'd like to add that, not all people recall their dreams vividly, which may limit the effectiveness of dream-based interventions. So in those cases, alternative therapies focusing on conscious thoughts and behaviors can be more impactful. And what I would also like to say is that whatever you do remember, because I sometimes, in the beginning, I had trouble remembering stuff. So I said, I'm just going to write down what I do remember. And that's what I did. And I just figured, well, if I only remembered this, there must be a reason for it. And there must be a reason why I forgot the rest of it. So I wrote down what I did remember, and I started interpreting it. And the other thing that you can do too, that I started doing so I could get better at remembering, is I used to keep a notebook and a pen on the nightstand next to my bed, which I still do. And if I wake up from a dream and it had an impact on me, I write it down right then and there as soon as I wake up, and I go back to sleep. And then in the morning, or sometime later the next day, when I go back to interpret it, I have it there written down. I don't have to worry about trying to remember it all morning or all day or something like that. So in conclusion, post-traumatic stress and your dreams are intricately connected to each other. Traumatic experiences often leave a lasting imprint on your subconscious mind. So harnessing the power of dream analysis, by doing that, you and your therapist or whatever can unlock these sort of hidden aspects of your trauma and guide yourself, or they can help guide you towards healing. Again, while this dream analysis is not a cure-all, it does serve as a vital tool in your toolbox of other tools in understanding the complexities of post-traumatic stress, while also providing a pathway to your recovery. So by confronting and reframing these distressing dreams, a lot of trauma survivors can reclaim their peace and sort of begin to pave the way for a healthier, more harmonious relationship with their subconscious mind. And with that, don't forget to leave any comments down below. I answer all those. I like to get those. If you have any video suggestions or a topic you want me to talk about, please put that in the comments. You can also go to my website, robertsirakijr.com, and I have all of my work there. There's a lot more information there. It's all free. I do have a page for my books, a store page. So if you're so inclined to buy a book, I greatly appreciate it. It helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And if you would rather buy them from Amazon or Barnes & Noble Nook, I have links on my store page to those pages. And if you feel more comfortable buying there, you can go there and buy them. And also, I have a contact page. If you'd rather make a comment or talk to me in a more discreet manner, you can just go there and send me an email. Those emails get directly forwarded to me, and I do answer them. So if you're inclined to do that, feel free to do so. And having said that, let's go out and have a great day, and I will talk to you guys next time.